I want to give you a way to think about your life and your ministry more as an opportunity than as a time of uncertainty. What I like to do every year is come up with a word that becomes a theme for me. And my theme, my word for 2022 is the word new. It just sprung forth as I looked at my needs and where I wanted to go and what I sensed God was saying to me. And this word definitely is something that's becoming a part of my thinking and my acting as I look ahead at the road ahead. And a couple of verses that really go along with that I've really latched onto are from Isaiah 43, and they go like this: forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the desert. This is true for me as I seek to live forward. Now, one thing that I'm still reflecting on fairly often, but not to the same level of intensity, is the loss of my wife just a year and a half ago in 2020. And when I think about this word new, it's not that I'm forgetting her. Like, forgetting the past does not mean I'm forgetting her. I'm cherishing those memories. But what it is saying to me is that I want to live my life forward, celebrating that history that we had, celebrating the life we had. And I know she would want me to do this, to live my life forward. God, what are you up to? What are you doing today that you want me to participate in? And I want to make a parallel and an application to the church context from this word new in this passage of Scripture that I think might resonate with you, because it certainly resonates with me. And I take you to the transitional journey diagram that many of you have seen and studied and we've talked about at our training and different sessions. And I want to frame this transitional journey in terms of this whole idea of seeing opportunity amidst a lot of uncertainty and difficulty. And there's three actions that I think we can learn from Isaiah 43, and we can actually overlay onto this journey. Change has happened in multiple ways. What's going to be our response as we go on that transitional journey? Three actions. The first action, it's so important to learn from our past, to mine all the lessons, to not forget it in the sense of failing to learn from it, but learning everything and then being able to let that go and not define who we want to be in the future. I see a lot of people pining for what they had and not being able to learn from it and let it go so that they can move forward. So that's so important, to learn from the past, and the forgetting about the past is, I think, definitely still implies learning, but letting that go. The second action is this action of look. And I would use it as a phrase. So it's look at where you need to go. You know, God is saying, see, I am doing a new thing. Look and see what that is. Discern what God is doing. And I think times of transition in our lives is we have to discern, well, where do we need to go? It's like Moses saying to the Israelites, we are headed to the promised land, but we've got to go through the wilderness to get there. But we need to have that vision of what God is up to, God's vision for our lives and for our congregations during times of transition and uncertainty. So we learn from the past and let it go. We look ahead and see what God is up to and capture this vision. And sometimes it's as small as a little transitional vision, not this grandiose 10-year vision. And the third element, which I think is so important and sometimes underrated, the action is we need to lean into the wilderness, lean into the uncertainty, lean into the lessons and the suffering that has to happen to shape our character so that we can actually get to that new future. So there's my invitation. I think God is inviting us to live life forward, to discover what is that new way of thinking, that new way of living, that new way of acting that He has for us to embrace and step into. Because I think God is hovering, He's at work. He wants to do things in us and through us. We just have to have eyes to see and an expectation that something new is happening. is about to happen, is already happening. We just need to join with God and let His Spirit change us as we take people with us forward to where He wants us to go. I hope that's encouraged you. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you're living forward in 2022, how you're dealing with this, how you're letting God be the one that guides you and steers you and directs you. And I look forward to talking to you again real soon.